Det är någon som kan. Hej, kul att det var så många som var intresserade av det här. Jag och Britt fick idén till organisationen igår när vi pratade. Det är också någonting som jag kanske saknat i alla fall de organisationer som jag gick på. Istället för att någon lär mig eller att någon står fram och lär, att man faktiskt jobbar tillsammans. Så att, ni som är här, jag hoppas att ni är här för att dela med er och för att slå era krokar huvudet ihop med alla andras och med våra och komma fram till någonting. Vi har lite konversationsstartare, men sen så är det upp till alla att vara med.
Ja, men Micke, berätta vem du är.
Ja, det ska jag göra. Jag heter Micke Kasanovic. Jag är idag frilans och jobbar med Connicom som jobbar med övervakning i sociala medier och med Bergs School of Communication. Så jag har en bakgrund. Sen, jag jobbar på Hyper Island. Jag har jobbat på Plus med innehållsproduktion, men mitt fokus just nu är digital strategier och användarupplevelser i kundupplevelser över hela spannet.
Mm. Britt Stakston heter jag. Jag är mediestrateg och en av 3 delägare till PR-byrån JMB. Halva min tid där handlar om att stötta de kunder vi har, och det är ju alla möjliga. Och den andra halvan handlar mycket om att diskutera nätets utveckling, och sitter i regeringens digitaliseringsråd och sådär, för vi har mycket med politiker i sociala medier och så. Men det vi ville prata om här, det är ju den här valutan. Liksom. Inte hur vi mäter saker, men närrelaterat.
Ja.
Hur bestämmer man att genas valutan?
Ja, precis. Och också så att man får en annan ingång när man börjar prata om ROI, så finns det också någon slags förväntan. I don't know, is everyone okay with doing it in English? Yeah. Okay. When you talk about ROI, there's always it's like a binary. There are 2 ends. It's this is the money we put in. How much money will we get out? And there are no steps in between. This is money in. How much money do we get out? So this is to define the steps in between that, and maybe even move away from that to make people understand that it's not necessarily a monetary reward that you get, or the monetary reward isn't instant. There are several steps between there. So.
And we also wanted to see, it's so easy that it quickly gets to quite old-fashioned ways of measuring reach. You talk about how many likes you have gotten, how many followers you have gotten, and the question is, how do you redefine the value you and your customers, your clients, give you when you choose to do a communication. Good, I'm lost in English today. Uppdrag?
Assignment,
yeah. We thought that we should start with some short examples from ourselves, and then that we have a common discussion on how have you worked with your clients in agreeing upon that this is the value for this campaign or this activity that we do. And what I see after working a couple of years, I've been working with internet since 1996, and as a communication agent since 2007, and social media has of course been a natural part all along. And what we aim at is constantly integrated campaigns, so if you want to look upon what has the Swedish police achieved in being in social media for 2 years, that's what I have done the last year, for example. That's one of my examples. And when you go in and see to how have they succeeded, it's not the first measuring aspect is not how many Facebook accounts do they have, how many tweets have they sent out, how many likes have they received. Absolutely not. The main thing is to start with their communication goal. Why is the Swedish police on social media? And find a way of redefining the value there. And that has, in their case, to do with accessibility, to be on platforms where everybody else is. It can be the physical square in the city, or it can be Facebook, obviously. And it's also to get out information, and then you need all the possible channels there are, and also to tell what does the police do, and that can be done in different ways, and of course extremely effective in digital platforms, and also that they want tips on crimes that you have seen or suspect behaviors you have seen. And then the value, of course, has to be how well they have succeeded in relation to those information goals. And I do believe that we still do get a lot of communication projects in our knees that start solely on the aspect of how many tweets will this campaign get. And if I then go to another campaign that we have been working with is Sit with David. That was an initiative that was in the need of getting a new focus on the fact that we have a Swedish journalist who's been in prison since 11 years, and how do you get new attention to something that has been going on for 11 years. And of course you can see that as a very successful campaign in social media as well. There were a lot of tweets and there were a lot of Instagram pictures of the people that chose in Almedalen, this the political sswc that you have each year in Sweden, where politicians meet in Gotland in as beautiful area as this is. And we built this replica of the cell where David Isak is. And politicians or other influencers chose to lock themselves up for 15 minutes. The door was closed, they left their phone outside. And it may seem as just a campaign or something quite silly to do, and we all know there's a lot of wine going around in Almedalen, and there is this constant joke about all the amounts of liters of rosé wine consumed in Almedalen. And you can see upon this as something quite trivial and almost horrendous to do, and try to create a similar experience to how it is to sit like David Isak does. But it actually worked if you just tone down the social media aspects. When Birgitta Olsson, the Swedish Democracy Minister, said, yes, I will be there on Friday, we did not tweet that. We did not tweet it, we didn't retweet it, and all of us working with the campaign did not retweet the fact that she was coming, because we wanted the experience to start with the ones that were affected by it. Once Birgitta was there, of course we took a picture of her and we tweeted that once, but except that, it had to be an experience that was supposed to be carried on by the ones, probably, and as they did, really feeling a closeness to David Isak. So that campaign would be silly to just measuring in tweets or Instagram pictures, because the goal was something totally different. At the end, of course, to get David Isak free, but also in the short term, that this fall, that all these 252 people that went into this cell, the next time they are in a position to make a decision on David Isak's case, they will remember, they have a closeness, and if they were open to it, this experience-based communication was so strong to be in this dark room. And really, if you were open for it, you could feel that you were sitting with David, because he is sitting closed in that way. And that is something that was so wonderful to see, how something that is very downtoned can work as well. It's not about the amount of tweets. That would be catastrophic in that case, actually. And then the third example, I do love what Maersk Line has done, and I'm emphasizing and talking about Maersk Line. I've written a Swedish blog post about that, and of course it's the whole story about just the shipping company and what kind of structure that is, and it's not so easy to see a player that actually works in a very regulated and very mafia sort of environment, where it's very defined what players are the big ones, etc. What's the relevance of being in social media? And it's been so interesting to follow them and hear them talk about how they actually could agree upon a value that sort of also stated that a life was worth 1 point or whatever you defined it, and the share 2 and the comment score, for example. And that's sort of my question. How have you been thinking in your recent campaigns that you're happy with, that you feel this is something we did very good? What was your value then? And how successful have you been in being able to work integrated, to go back to communication goals like the police example, because that's the base for that, not the amount of Facebook accounts and Twitter accounts, etc. So that's sort of what I bring to this table. And then Micke, you have a lot of experiences of really measuring in different ways.
Well, yes, I have, and some good and some less good. And I think that the first I'd like to talk about is when I was working for Björn Borg, the underwear brand. And when we were talking about, we had a campaign where basically we worked with bloggers all over in 14 different countries. It's a huge campaign. It sounds huge, and it's easy to believe that, oh, but this is a big company and have a big budget. To be honest, the budgets were really small. Björn Borg is not a really huge company. It's 60 people working basically in Stockholm, so it's not thousands of employees. When we had to give a reason why did we do this campaign. So once we've done it, we knew that this would work, but then you had to go back to the CEO and to the executive board and be like, so this is what we reached. And one of my issues there was that they wanted hard numbers. So they wanted so how many people were reached. And I mean, yes, we did buy media. We bought ads on Google, and so those were the figures that we gave them, because it sounds a lot when you say that there were 800 million impressions.